I thought today we'd have a look at the hedge cutters. We've got young Andrew here, Keithy as well on the hedge cutters. We are going to have a little look at the machines they're using and put the drone up and see how they get on. Right, it's the 17th of December. You've probably seen that there's not very many videos out in December. It's because I've been editing the end of year videos and they're taking forever. So apologies for that, but you should start seeing some more videos in January. You'll probably end up seeing this in January as well, because by the time I've edited those videos, it won't be until then. Right, I'm blabbling on.
Hedge cutting.
Hedge cutting.
Again.
Right, what should we do? Should we have a look at your hedge cutter and then we'll have a look at Andrew's?
Yep.
They're pretty much the same, aren't they?
Identical machines, pretty much. The only thing different is the control boxes.
Yep.
Different type of control box from one to the other.
Right.
Same model. 60-70. That means it's a 6 metre reach, a 70 horsepower hydraulic system.
Right.
So it's 60 horsepower on the mower.
And what determines the horsepower? The motor of the
hydraulic motor, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not the PTO that determines how fast it goes.
It's that system on there is 70 horsepower. You can get, I think it's 54, 65, 70, 75 and 85.
And what does that mean? The more horsepower, the faster it spins?
Yeah, the more power you got on the flail for cutting.
Yep.
Bigger stuff you can cut, the more power you can, faster you can go. The
Right.
cleaner you cut.
And this is the older one out of the two, isn't
Yeah,
it?
this is 2015. Exactly the same as that one.
Yeah.
I say the only thing different is the controls.
So this is our new one.
They're both variable forward reach, meaning you can push the arm forward
Yeah,
and have your head here
yeah,
rather than back there.
right.
So you're not cranking your neck all the time.
Saves your neck.
Saves your neck. Yeah.
Right.
It's well worth having.
And McCONNEL machines, are they good?
Yeah, very good. This is the third one.
Yeah. What's that started up there?
That's the oil cooler.
Oh, right.
Oil.
Even when it's off?
Yeah, which on a thermostat, it gets to a certain temperature.
Oh. They're reliable, good machines?
Yeah, they've been very reliable. Yeah. Very good, make a nice clean finish.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
We've got F14 flails.
Right, what does that mean?
It's the size of the flail.
Whoa, there is a hole.
That's the size of the flail, that's an F14.
Right,
F10s we had on the older one.
and they're smaller.
Yeah, slightly, not as quite as heavy, slightly smaller, but same width, but not as heavy. And you can get an F16 flail, which is a lot bigger than that.
Oh, right.
So 3 different
They leave a
types.
nice, nicer finish, would you say? Or
Yeah, some people like the competition flails. They're just a one-sided flail. They call it a competition flail.
Yeah,
But to get a nice finish on, sort of, it's okay for sort of yearly trimming,
yeah.
1 year's growth. These you can cut 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. You can bash some big stuff down with these.
Yeah,
We just got the standard roller instead of a hydraulic. Means
right.
you have to unbolt it and move it a hole at a time.
What does the roller do? Where would you use that?
For cutting grass, you put your roller down if you want to run it on the floor to keep the flowers off the ground.
Oh, and it's like a height adjustment for the ground,
Yeah,
is it?
yeah. We tend to run with those up
Yeah,
all the time when we're cutting hedges,
yeah.
because what it tends to do, the roller runs on the hedge and pushes the hedge down, and then the flowers come on, and when it goes off, it flicks back up again, and it sort of leaves a bit.
Yeah,
If that's down lower than what the flowers are cutting.
right.
So we trim with those up all the time for hedge cutting.
Yeah,
You're supposed to let them down for cutting grass, ditches out.
right.
But we
I got
don't.
you.
We carry them mainly. Just hover them on the ground.
Yeah.
Takes some getting used to, but once you're used to it, it's all right.
Okay, cool. So that's what it looks like. Is there much maintenance you got to do with these, Keith?
These bearings, each end of the flail, need greasing every day,
Yeah.
or maybe twice a day on a long day, like in the summer. If you're working all down the summer, you do them twice. Every 8 hours they recommend to do
Yeah.
those. There's one there and one at the bottom,
Right.
and then just one on your connecting spline from the motor into the shaft. There's a set of splines and a thing
Yeah.
that goes in when you put the motor onto the end of
So
the
3 grease points there.
3 on there, well, 1 on that end, 1 on each end, and then just 1 there.
Yeah.
1 on each end of the roller for the roller bearings,
Yeah.
and that's it on the head.
And then I guess on your every moving part of your
every pivot on the machine itself has got one. They don't have to be done every day.
no, every
No,
few
you can
days.
do them every 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah,
What do you
well-
think of these machines? You like them, do you? You like?
Yeah, I've always used McCONNELs.
Yeah.
Every hedge trim has been a McCONNEL.
And
I've tried a Bomford, but didn't like it.
didn't like the Bomford. Okay. So
I couldn't get the finish. The quality of the finish wasn't as good on a Bomford.
yeah. You were talking about these control boxes. Should
Yeah.
we have a look at those?
Do you want to see the older first or this one first?
Let's take a look at the old one. Let's take a look at Andrew's. Andrew can have a little chat with us. Come on, Andrew. Come and have a chat with me. Right, you can. This one's not in good. These are replaceable parts,
Yeah,
are they?
they normally wear. I think that's the second one on this head we've had.
How
It's
long
a
will
rubber
they
flat
last?
Couple, 2 or 3 seasons maybe.
Yeah,
Once they start splitting, they tend to rip off.
yeah.
If you don't catch them soon, they go through the flail.
How do you make it all work then, Andrew?
Show how the functions work.
Got to turn that to make it active, and just normal really, up and down like a teleporter, in and out, and that'll do your, put it around the back, that one does your arm, move it backwards and forwards. Not really much to that box, pretty simple.
And what happens if you can twist it as well, don't you? If you twist
Yeah,
the knob,
that does a head.
that makes the head turn over.
Yeah,
Let's have a look at Keithy's one then, see what's different. And what is this? What do they class this as? An upgrade?
This is the best one. It's supposed to be all singing, dancing, top of the range control. This one.
Right. So you've used both, haven't you? Because
Yeah.
that was yours last year, wasn't it?
I started with cable controls,
All right. Yeah.
and went to electric controls,
Yeah.
just normal pulse switches. Then to that,
Yeah.
mini joystick control.
Yeah.
Now to this.
Okay. Let's have a little look then, Keithy.
Right,
Oh.
that's your main controller, your joystick.
Yeah.
It's different to that one. As you can see, it's a bigger, full-size joystick. Rather than using your hand and your fingers, you're using your your full hand.
Mm.
It takes some getting used to, but
Yeah.
your head control, your forward reach are on roller switches on the top,
Yeah.
or switches on the back. If you had telescopic, you'd have these are divert switches, so you can divert one function like your head or your telescopic to that button, and then you can transfer it back, or you can transfer it to that one.
Right.
If you've got the more functions you've got, the more you can swap them around.
Yeah.
That's the other part of the control box, which that one doesn't have. That tells you all. You can keep your hours on it, of how much hedge trimming you've done. It tells you when the machine needs servicing.
So, for instance, say you're hedge trimming for someone else, you can see how many hours you've done.
Yeah, you set it to how many hours you've done on that job.
Yeah.
It tells you all the functions, tells you which way your speed's going, which way your flail's running, forward or backwards. That's what it would be normally running at, forward. You push the button, it lights up, and to stop it you push that one.
Right. Why
That
do you
puts it
have
in gear. That
Yeah.
puts the flail in gear or out of gear, or different directions.
Okay.
So for cutting normal hedge cutting, annual cutting once a year, you have the flail cutting uphill, get a cleaner cut.
Right.
If you want to cut some big stuff, sort of thick stuff like that,
Right.
you have it cutting downhill.
Why does that matter?
Well, they recommend it cuts better downhill. It's like an axe chopping it,
Right.
big stuff.
Oh, okay. Rather
No.
than upwards against
Yeah,
gravity.
if you
sort of.
find small stuff, 1 year's growth, you normally have it cutting up. Or some people like to cut downhill for grass.
Yeah.
But I always find cutting uphill for grass is better.
Yeah. So it doesn't do anything different than.
Yeah, you can set all your control, the speed of your functions, like
Mhm.
your up and down, your in and out, your head.
Yeah.
They're all adjustable on there. You go into the menu, find which function you want. You can slow them down, speed them up,
Okay.
or you can change functions from switch to switch. So if you didn't like a certain function on that switch, you could convert it to that switch.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that all stays the same. Your up and down and your in and out all stays the same on there.
And you're twisting your heads on here, isn't it?
That's
So-
the head on there. Instead of twisting the top of the joystick, it's
Yeah.
on. It's on a roller switch on here.
So, in terms of you've used them both, which one do you prefer?
Honestly, that one.
Why is that then?
It's just it's easier to use. You sort of, your hands down there and you're using your fingers rather than the whole of your hand.
Hmm.
It's nicer feel, nicer to use.
Yeah.
But you can, as an option, have that tiny joystick on here instead of this one.
Yeah, what, with this box?
Yeah, with that box, and you get another little box on there with the tiny joystick on.
Yeah.
So you can have that joystick on here.
Yeah.
But this was just on what was on the machine when it was bought.
Yeah.
It's already made with this on it, so that's what we got.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got used to it now, and yeah, I can get on with it.
Yeah. Cool. Right. I will not hinder you any longer. What we're going to do then is just let these guys crack on. We'll put the drone up for a little while, get some nice drone shots. Keithy's been doing some GoPro shots throughout the day, so we'll put all that together. We'll jump in with Keithy at the end, and he can teach us how he does it. Believe it or not, it's not quite simple as just boop, 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 boop. It takes a bit of learning. These guys are pretty good at it. Right, let's put the drone on.
Hey now, honey, I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time, ain't doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Hey now, honey, I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time, ain't doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Having a good time, ain't doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Hey now, honey, I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time, ain't doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright.
One of those things come off.
A flail?
It looks terrifying when you're facing to face with it.
I've never had one come off. No, I know people have had them come off.
You wouldn't want that coming through the window.
No, you've got to make sure all your bolts are good and tight and the bushes are good.
So you check them every morning.
Yeah. Well, as long as they're not rattling them out. We have taken them off before where they've been half worn through the bolt, you know.
Oh,
right. Right, he's out of the way now. We've got our flail going. Just rev up to speed. So you can get the right one up. You can bring that up. It tells you what percentage of the power you are, how far you've revved up. It tells you the degrees of the arm and all that stuff. That you never take any notice of. Really.
No, you wouldn't really use that for anything, really,
No,
would you?
So you move your arm out, it tells you, because it changes.
Yeah. Interesting.
That light there has to be lit up. That's your brake back. If you hit anything, it lets it brake back. If that's off like that,
that's rigid
locked.
then.
Yeah,
your
solid.
bend stuff.
Yeah. When you slew it round, when you do that, it puts it out of flow. But you always have to remember when you flued it back round, push that button and put it back in, brake back.
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't realise they had that.
Yeah. That button there does two functions. So you've got it to do the slow.
Yeah.
And if I push that button there, it converts it to the forward reach arm.
Right.
So they get two different functions out of one roller.
Yeah.
That will be afloat, we'll be ready to go. when you've been on it a while, you'll get to feel the tractor. You'll feel the tractor dip in a hole,
Yeah.
and without thinking about it, you'll automatically lift the machine
Yeah.
without
'cause
thinking.
Yeah, because the tractor leans over, so does the machine.
Yeah, and you'll automatically touch it. And the same the other way. If it goes up and comes away from the hedge, you'll automatically put it back down. You get the feel of the tractor, and you'll react to it. Some people say, how do you control that? Because it's all over the place, but you automatically compensate.
Yeah, you
to
sort of
move
go
the
the opposite
tractor.
way.
Yeah, your hands. It's just through practice, using it all the time. I'm just cutting the angle off now, so I should finish the top.
Yeah.
See how much better the forward reach is, can't you?
Yeah.
Having the head there
Yeah,
rather
you
than
don't-
having it back. That's where it'd normally be. That
Yeah.
pillar socking the way.
You're cricking your neck.
I mean, you can see with the hedge was cut last year when all the leaves have gone off. It's a bit more difficult when it's all green and got the leaves on.
Yeah.
You only see when it's coming out the back, see how deep you're going into the hedge.
Right.
See, with this bigger joystick, you have to move it a lot more, a lot further.
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah.
The other one, it's just tiny little movements.
Yeah. Yeah. If you go faster, does it leave a terrible finish?
No, what it tells you, you can't react quick enough to the tractor. You know, it's going like that. If you're
Yeah.
going too far, you can't react quick enough, and it's all over the place. So you can have them built to work the other side. You can have them left or right hand built.
Oh yeah.
The way you put your joystick, I don't know.
What's the best part of the hedge you like cutting? What's most satisfying?
I like doing a nice trimmed hedge like this. You know, a nice square. Well, not a better hedge. It's a bit gappy, but a nice square hedge,
So
thick
you,
head
so
square.
when
Hedge.
afterwards you left yourself a nice finish, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
How much hedge cutting do you do in terms of acres?
I don't know really. It's a job to work out, and we must be doing 3,000, I suppose,
Yeah.
if not a bit more.
It takes you all winter, doesn't it?
Yeah, we were on from sort of September right through till March, end of February, March.
Uh-oh. Got some competition on the other side.
Yeah, clash of flails.
How come we don't have the bigger heads?
More weight really. There's a lot more weight on the machine hanging out there.
Yeah.
You've got a bigger head on. We manage all right with the 1.2. So if there's two of you working, you don't take any notice of it really. Most of our hedges are cut to less than a metre at the top anyway. So one pass on the top will cut it. There are a few hedges where you have to go twice to cut a top. They're extremely wide. But 1.2 is what I've always used.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose if you want to get on a bit quicker, you have the bigger head. You can have I think it's a 2 metre. I think they do a 2 metre head.
What does that work out? 6 metre? 6 feet?
What's that, 6 foot, is it?
I don't know.
In the older machines, they used to have a 1 metre head. Just
Yeah.
a standard 1 metre head.
So how do you do it then? Because obviously you've got the weather coming in. Do you go out and cut all your wet stuff first before it gets wet?
We try to, yeah. try to do all the wet fields first, all the insides of fields first. We're lucky because most of ours, nearly all of our hedge trimming, we've got grass marches to run on.
Yeah.
All the farms we do.
And even if it's wet, you can get on them.
Certain places you can. Some places, really wet places, you won't get on them. You'll get on them, but you'll make a mess. You'll start cutting ruts. So you see there's wet places here in certain places. We used to go out on frost, but you don't get many frosts now. They're not used to. We normally leave all the outsides of field, roadsides, ditches, and stuff to last. Stuff on tracks.
Right.
So if it comes in wet, you've got something to go out there.
Yeah. And when you're working on the road, you have to have a sign up, do you?
Yeah, you're supposed to have a sign each end of where you're working.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare working on the road. You've got to watch what you're doing, and you've got to watch the traffic constantly all the time. You know what people are like on the road.
Yeah.
They come up behind you and don't realise you're hardly moving until the last minute. That's elm, that stuff there.
Yeah.
Never,
sort of viney.
Yeah, it never cuts very nice.
Does it help to have a sharpened cutting blade?
Yeah, they do cut cleaner when they're sharp.
Yeah.
These are still quite sharp, being new.
What blunts and then? Cutting big stuff?
Cutting the grass.
Oh, cutting the
Cutting the ground. You're always in the ground with them. Cutting dirt. Trees are a pain to go around, but it's all part of the challenge.
Yeah. Oh, we got some good stuff coming up now. I bet you like going through that sort of stuff, do you?
Yeah. It's nice to cut a hedge that hasn't been cut for 3 or 4 years, a big hedge,
Yeah.
and then bash it all back down to where it should be, and then look back
Yeah.
when you're finished. You have to go over it a few times.
Why do we cut the hedges then? What's the... Well, obviously they grow so fast.
Maintenance, really.
Will they just get out of control?
If you keep a hedge trimmed, it keeps it controlled, it thickens out, it's better for nesting birds. A lot of people argue it's better to cut them every 2 or 3 years, which I don't particularly agree with. Especially an elm hedge, if you let that grow and don't cut it for 2 or 3 years, all the elm runs up to quite big, like a tree, gets Dutch elm disease and dies.
Oh, right.
Then your hedge is gone. But if you keep it trimmed every year, it stays alive.
Yeah.
What would you rather see in a countryside? A nice trimmed hedge or a big wild
Yeah, they look
scraggly
better,
hedge?
don't they? They look better. Nothing worse than a horrible thick.
Scraggly hedge.
Yeah.
And they, a good trimmed hedge, not these because it's not very thick, but a good trimmed hedge will be, you kind of get a stock-proof hedge. You'll keep stock in if you trim it every year. If you let it get big and scraggly, it won't keep nothing in. But everyone's got different ideas nowadays, as you know.
Does the day go quick when you're on air?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
It's better when it's
Concentration, isn't it? It's got a lot of concentration.
Yeah, it is concentrated. It's better when it's a day like this, because yesterday when that was chucking down with rain all day, it's a nightmare. You can't see what you're doing.
Does it all stick to the windows?
Yeah, it sticks to the windows. You get out and clean it up, you go here to that tree and then it's back on again.
Yeah.
Looking into the low sun this time of year can be a pain as well.
Jump out and then Keithy?
Yeah.
That'll do. Well. Oh my god, my back. That is like... Nice one, thanks very much.
Alright.
hope you enjoyed that one. Nice to get a ride on with Keithy, because he's always out the yard, and they spend all day throughout the winter doing the hedge cutting, so it's nice to get a ride with him. He's pretty good at the old hedge trimming. He will come along this hedge once more and just clean the top up, and it'll look pretty good. I had to go last year, they won't let me back on it. Within 2 minutes I'd sucked up a load of barbed wire, and for some reason they won't let me back on it now. Yeah, we'll probably leave it there on that one. Next we'll go back to the farm and have a look at what's been going on at the farm in the next video. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. If you want to support the channel, head over to the link down below and check out the merch. We got hats, t-shirts and hoodies on there. Make sure you're subscribed as always, and we'll catch you soon. Cheers.